Okay, so on number one, it just says list the variables and constants in each expression. So, yeah, it's easy if you remember. What are the variables on number one, or variable? So I'm just going to do V for variable and C for constant. What are the constants on number one? 3 and 6. Variables are the letters, constants are the numbers. Doesn't matter on these questions whether they're adding or multiplying or whatever. Number 3, what's the variable? 3, T. And what are the constants?
4 and 6.
4 and 6. On 4, what is pi?
3.14.
It's a constant, yes, even though it's a symbol, it does represent a number, the same number. R is a what?
Variable.
2 is a
Constant.
constant. All right, on number 5, it says evaluate each expression for each member of the domain. I didn't mention the word domain. You might have heard this last year, I don't know. Domain just means, basically, it's the possible x values. That's kind of an easy way to think about it. It's the things that x can be. So if you look at the directions on that says evaluate each expression for each member of the domain. So what it means is all 4 of those things we're plugging in. Now I said x. It could be any variable. It could be any variable. Doesn't have to be an x, but usually x is the one they use. So we're just plugging in those 4 numbers. So each problem here should have 4 answers. Number 5, we're plugging in -4 for x. So it's -4 minus 4, which is no.
-8.
Right, it's down 4, down 4, down 8. Okay, and then we're plugging in 1. Do you guys see where I'm getting these numbers from?
Yes.
So it's 1 minus 4, and then 3 minus 4, and then 8 minus 4.
You're just kind of
Oh,
switching that.
that's a.
Probably because I was standing in your way. So there's 4 answers. When we grade this tomorrow, each will be worth half a point. Okay. 7. I'm not going to write all these down, but what does 3z mean?
Multiply.
Multiply 3 times whatever. So 3 times -4 is? 3 times 1 is? 3 times 3 is? And 3 times 8 is? Okay, so I didn't write that. These are pretty basic, like writing down 3 times -4 is not really that important, so you don't have to show your work on that.
There we go.
I did it on 5 just so you guys could see what I was doing. Okay, number 9. 1/2 n, what does that mean? 1/2 times. Okay. What's a half times -4? Alright, so you could think of it like this. 1/2 times -4 divided by 2 is 1 times -2 over 1 times 1. Probably the best way to think of it though is just multiplying by half is the same as dividing by 2. Okay, the 2 on the denominator just divides. So, yeah, it's just divide by -2, or divide by 2. -2 is the first answer. So, what is 1 divided by 2? Or what's 1 times a half? 1/2. Okay, and then what's 3 times a half?
3/2.
Right. Now, if you said, what's 3 divided by 2? 1/2. Okay, that's also correct, but I'm going to go ahead and put the 3/2 answer. 3/2 is equal to 1/2 as a mixed number. And then what's half of 8? 4. Number 11. X squared. Okay, this is one where people start to miss it. I'm not sure we've talked about this before, so this is kind of a new trick. So it says -4 is x. Alright, so I replaced x with -4. If I plug this in my calculator, I would get it wrong. Does anybody know why it would be wrong?
Because you do times make the way different.
Okay, I think I mentioned this last week, but you guys maybe forgot.
Oh, yes.
You want to square all of x, so all of -4 needs to be squared. -4 times -4. If you don't put the negative in parentheses, it won't be squared. And we're trying to square all of x, so really we need to do that. If you plug that in the calculator, it would be correct. What's -4 squared?
-4
-16. Or 16.
Positive, right? -4 times -4 is positive 16. Plus, what's 4 times -4?
-16.
So notice I am using order of operations. The plus is coming last. 16 plus -16 is... A lot of people probably would have missed that one. It's kind of the first time you've seen some of this, so. But number 12 has a similar issue because it says b squared. So on 12, you just do b squared minus 10, and then whatever comes out, make sure your final answer is positive, right? A few of you missed that on the test, left a negative on whatever problem. Okay, number 11, I'm plugging in 1. So what's 1 squared
1.
plus 4 times 1?
2.
1 squared is 1 times 1, so it is 1. So it's 1 plus 4 is 5. And if I plug in 3, what's 3 squared?
9.
What's 4 times 3? 9 plus 12.
21.
And then 8. What's 8 squared? 64. What's 4 times 8? 64 plus 32.
96.
Okay, 13 says, oh, maybe we'll take a volunteer for these. You done? Yeah. Thought that was a little bit quick. Does anybody think they might know how to write 13? Raise your hand. The product of 8 and a number. John?
8 times the variable, so x.
8 times x. What's the simplest way to write that?
8x.
8x. The book likes to use n on this section. I have no idea why, but it doesn't matter. You're not going to get counted wrong for what letter you use.
I think we just double
Probably don't want to use s because it looks like a 5.
Yes,
And you definitely don't want to use o.
I think we just double U.
4.
You could use the first letter of your name. Okay, 15. This is a weird one. I think we mentioned it in chapter 1, and I said I don't like it because nobody ever says it. Do you remember what it is,
6.
Jaden? 15. Well, if it said less than, it would have been that. But if it's just less, okay, the reason I don't like it is because nobody actually says those words, but somebody might say less than. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say in less 10 or anything like that. But anyway, it's just a matter of order. I don't believe there's an even that has that, so you don't have to worry about it.
That's a mean. Okay,
Maybe subtracted from, is that in there? No. Subtracted from is also backwards. All right. Number 17. 4 more than 5 times the number. Anybody want to try that one? 4 more than. What do you guys think 4 more than means? Carolyn?
Would it be 4 plus 5 in?
Yes. Did you say M?
In,
Okay.
or whatever variable.
M, N, whatever.
E.
What if I had written this? Would that be wrong? No, because order of addition does not matter.
Whoa.
Future's scary.
No crying in math class. All right.
Definitely trying.
Okay, 19. The difference between. Okay, so what did difference mean?
Subtract.
Subtract. So what are we subtracting? A number and twice the same number.
So, we're gonna do E subtract, wait. E subtracts times, no.
What's twice the number?
Times 2.
Times 2.
So would it be like x2 subtracted?
Exactly, that's what.
Okay, it's the difference of, so what are we subtracting? A number and twice the number.
Oh, so like E minus E squared?
Well,
No, e times 2, not squared.
yeah. E squared means something different than
Yeah.
2 times E. E squared means E times E, and
Okay, yeah.
2 times E is. Okay, actually E is kind of like a pi variable. It means it has a value, like 2.79. So
So I can't use E,
I wouldn't count it wrong, but
so I have to erase.
no, I'll say it's okay.
Bad.
But generally, I'll just say A plus 2A. Well, or is minus, wouldn't it?
That's what they used to
All right. By the way, would 19's value have to be negative?
Would 19?
No.
Oh
If A was negative, no, this would come out positive.
no. Oh, it's 21.
21.
This is a number.
Okay, the number Q to the 5th power. Not a lot going on there. On 20, do you guys know what the square root means?
Yes.
We haven't done that this, well, maybe we did it once.
It's the division thing with like a weird line.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you-
yeah, but like
Can you guys tell me what square root means?
2 numbers
it's
times each other.
yeah.
What number times itself equals that?
So
Right.
3. Now, that's not number 20, but that's just to remind you what the square root looks like. We're not solving these because they're not solvable. We're just writing an expression. What's Q to the 5th power look like?
Q with the little 5.
Q with the little 5.
Yeah.
I put a little tail on my Q because guess why?
it looks like a 9.
So it doesn't look like a 9.
That's actually a good idea.
Put a tail on my T's so it doesn't look like a plus.
I always do that.
Okay. Shh. So on 23 it says translate each word phrase into an algebraic expression. Where it's basically the same thing except for these are like situations, like life situations or whatever. We're supposed to translate them into an algebraic expression. The calories Joe consumes eating in sweet rolls when one sweet roll has 325 calories.
I'm bringing from
N times 325.
Right. Let's say you ate 3 sweet rolls. How many calories did you eat?
Oh,
Too many.
3 times 325. So they're saying you ate in sweet rolls. So, or Joe did. How many calories did Joe consume? 325 times n. Don't eat 3 sweet rolls. That'd be like all your calories for the day. Okay. 25. The number of history books in a store if there are 4 more than 3 times the math books. So that kind of that last part was the important part. 4 more than 3 times the math books. It's kind of like we did one of these already.
X plus
17.
4 times
4 more than. So what's that part? 4 more. 4 plus 4, 4 plus. What was it? 3 times the math books.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just what?
3x.
3. I'll say M for math books.
What about 26? The perimeter of a rectangle of 24 units long. And W units wide. That one is weird.
What does it say? 26?
24 units
24.
long and W units wide.
So how do you find the perimeter of a
No,
rectangle?
don't you like add?
Add all the sides together. Now, they only told us the length and the width, but what would this be?
24. So would it be like?
So what is W plus W?
W times.
No, 2
2W.
No,
2
1.
times
Where did we
W.
get
It's
this?
2W.
Oh.
Yeah.
Plus 24 plus 24. That, just simplify that a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're on 27.
Yes.
The amount Evelyn makes the week she gives X haircuts at $25 each and Y perms at $90 each. Perms are expensive. $25 per haircut, per X haircuts, and $90 per Y perms. So how do we express how much money she's gonna make without knowing exactly how many haircuts or perms she gives? Okay, how would I express the money she's gonna make just from haircuts? 25 times X. X stands for how many haircuts she makes. How do I express the amount of money she's gonna make just from the perms?
90 times the
90 times
Why?
Y. Okay, how do I express the total amount of money she's gonna make? Right, add those two together. Or just 2M. Yeah, you don't have to say equal to Joy, you can just say 2M.
Calculator. I like this assignment. We should
You
do it
can use
again.
calculator anytime you want to.
We should do this same paper tomorrow.
We're not doing this anymore.
We should do something with this year.
No, say no to that one.
Can I write my brochure for my autobiography?
Yeah.
Today.
Tomorrow.
Oh, shoot. We'll find it.
You guys probably don't want to copy on that one. Probably a bad idea.